and it will be also great for the city itself. Hopefully we get a shop filled up again. We see department stores coming back. Might even see John Lewis coming back, and even if we're lucky, we might get a Waitrose. So all to play for. So what does Robert Gordon University's Energy Transition Institute do? We actually do three things. We can connect industry to the university and work with government and government agencies to help the energy transition. We also do quite a lot of consulting projects and help companies with simulation, particularly for the drilling activities, the decommissioning activities, and new upcoming activities as well offshore. And the third thing we do is really around thought leadership, putting out really relevant reports about the future of the industry, the future of the supply chain, the future of the workforce, and support the industry with lots of media commentary, activities on task forces, really to be an independent, impartial, and apolitical voice on the energy transition and how to set a nation up for success. So how significant are the next 12 months for the future of energy in the northeast of Scotland? I think it is going to be a critical period. We have done a few pivotal activities in the last 12 months, really around kind of new consultations around the scope 3, the emissions from the consumption of oil and gas. There was a consultation around the future of the North Sea. There's a consultation around tax regime. All these consultations are currently being analyzed. And in the next few months, the government has to come back what they're going to do with it. A great outcome is around there's a kind of longevity, there's a kind of realization that oil and gas and the northeast of Scotland, the supply chain, the workforce have a critical role to play in the acceleration of the energy transition. A bad outcome is where actually the tax regime isn't changing, the role of oil and gas is diminishing, we're losing the supply chain and we're losing the workforce, and thereby don't have the energy resilience of the country and can't accelerate the energy transition because we don't have the workforce. So there's all to play for. It's all going to happen in the next 12 months. A pivotal time for the industry, but also a key time for the industry to pull together and get a message across to government. So you've got 60 seconds to persuade the Prime Minister to follow the recommendations in your Striking the Balance report. Go. So Robert Gordon University put out a key report beginning of July called Striking the Balance about the future of the offshore energy industry in the UK. So a massive opportunity, Prime Minister. I would absolutely recommend you read the report and follow the conclusions. And if not, I will send it to you to make sure you have it. What is the opportunity for the country? We can create more jobs, sustain the supply chain, sustain the workforce, and actually accelerate the renewables agenda at no cost to the government and actually giving additional tax regime. A fantastic opportunity, totally aligned to the industrial strategy of this country and gets us clean power by 2030. But we need signals from the government. We need investor confidence that they can invest. We need clarity that oil and gas will be important for the next so many years so we can sustain the supply chain and the workforce. And we need to make sure that the investors actually want to be in this country. So the signals from the government is going to be critical. Your role is going to be critical. And timing is going to be critical. Get it right, we get the jobs, we get the best outcome. It's a win-win for everybody. Get it wrong, we lose the supply chain, we lose the workforce, but we also lose the energy resilience to the country. What does the sector look like in the Northeast in 10 years' time if we get the transition right? I think there's a massive opportunity for the Northeast of Scotland. The Northeast of Scotland has been an absolute energy powerhouse for 50 years. Get it right, we're going to be an energy powerhouse for the next 50 years. We're going to see a multi-energy base, oil and gas, hydrogen, carbon capture and storage, all wind, all going to coexist in a completely different way they've seen before. We can generate the energy the nation needs. We got a supply chain to do the whole spectrum of energy. We got a workforce which is focused on developing that offshore energy, connecting it to the grid, getting it to the consumer. This could be the leading G7 nation in the world to actually do all this activity. That is the opportunity. It gives the place the vibrancy. Aberdeen is going to be great. We see fantastic kind of new activity happening. And it will be also great for the city itself. Hopefully we get the shops filled up again. We see department stores coming back. Might even see John Lewis coming back. And even if we're lucky, we might get a Waitrose. So all to play for, but it is about repositioning this as the energy capital of Europe, do the activity, use the ecosystem and make a real difference. How confident are you that the UK will seize the opportunity presented by the transition? I think it's really clear that the world is changing. If you look at the last 10 years, it's been kind of the warmest 10 years on record. You look at the last 12 months, we see the same thing. It's getting warmer and warmer, just not in the UK, but everywhere around the world. It's the first time as a world we exceeded the 1.5 degrees centigrade over pre-industrial levels. all the warning signals are there. Now, the UK has an incredible starting point. We're one of the nations who's put net zero in legislation. It's the legal obligation of the country to get to net zero. So am I confident we're going to make progress? Yeah, I am, because if we don't, we're breaching our own kind of legal requirements. So it's not about confidence of doing it, it's about how we do it. Will we do it ourselves, or will we import all the wind farms? Will we import all the cables, all the carbon capture facilities? Do we import all the kind of hydrogen? If we do it in the UK, with a UK workforce, with a UK supply chain, use our ecosystem, it will be a tremendous outcome for this nation, and we will be very successful. If we import everything from overseas, we still get to net zero, but it actually will not give us the benefit here. The benefits will accrue somewhere else. So there's a choice to be made. Government can make a choice. Industry can actually deliver that choice. But it is about the investor confidence to make it happen here. Fantastic opportunity to go after, for us to kind of create, for us to deliver. So what was your first ever job? My first ever job was actually a summer job. I worked to deliver post for the Dutch police. That was my kind of first experience of actually getting a proper contract, a proper work. It was great fun. How do you unwind when you're not working? Now, I have a lot of things I like to do. I like to go traveling. I like to go cooking. I like socializing. And of course, like my wife and I like walking with a dog called Smarty. So we have lots of things to do, and always a very important part of our lives. Who are your perfect 3 dinner guests? Now, of course, other than my wife, I always like when people come and visit us who are high energy, really interesting, lot to say, and also make a difference. So if I had other than my wife, I would probably invite Sir David Attenborough and Bill Gates. And the reason I would do that is because I immensely admire the kind of difference they want to make. They put their head above the parapet. They want to make a difference, to explain to the world some of the things what needs to be done, and then doing it. And I think that is absolutely tremendous. So I got a very big list to invite, but if I had to start somewhere, I would start there. If you had a time machine, where and when would you stop first? I probably would do 2 things. I have a time machine, I've taken the luxury of doing it and using it properly. So the first thing I probably would do, I probably would go back 20 years. And I would probably deliver a letter to myself and a letter to the world, and saying is, guys, kind of, if you think what the future holds, we need to do far more, take more responsibility and make a bigger difference, and really push that. Because if we start earlier, we wouldn't have got ourselves in the position we're now. And I would use that same time machine and go 20 years in the future, 2045, and then see how much progress we have actually made. And really kind of see are we delivering our net zero targets for the world? Are we delivering our net zero targets for Scotland and for the UK? And what does the northeast of Scotland look like? Are we actually putting all these words into action and making a real difference? Is it a Rawi or a battery, and how do you take it? Now, I'm probably going to be neither of this. I'm gluten-free, so I don't have an option, but I think it's a great thing to have, and I will always see other people enjoying it.